Hi! This tutorial is going to show you how to use Google Maps integrated with Google Classroom. You will assign an assignment using Google Maps to your students. They will create the map and then turn it in. On the right-hand side, we have the teacher account in Google Classroom. On the left-hand side, we have the student account in Google Classroom. To start out as a teacher, the teacher will click on their class that they want this assignment to go into. Then they will hit the red plus button to create an assignment. We'll give the assignment a title and description or instructions. We can also give a due date or toggle it off. And at this time I can also decide if there are other classes I want this assignment to be sent to as well. Next I need to get the link to the web page that I want my students to use. In this case, the web page is maps.google.com. So I'm going to take this URL and Control-C copy it, go back to my classroom, and right down here I'm going to get the link, Control-V to paste that, and go ahead and click Add. That link will now appear in my assignment. When I'm ready, I can either assign this, or if I want to, I can save it as a draft to assign at a later date. I am ready to assign this, so I'm going to go ahead and put that assignment out there. Now on the left-hand side, if I'm a student, I'll open up my class. I can go ahead and open the assignment up, and from there I'm able to see that I have this link to open up in Google Maps. And my teacher's already given me instructions on how to use this, so I'm going to go ahead and start creating my map. To get started, I'm going to be creating a Google map to show interesting places in the Serial podcast because it's a podcast I've been listening to recently and I've really enjoyed it. And so you can imagine this assignment from a teacher could be creating a map for anything you've read lately, anything in the news, current events, telling historical events. So I click the three little bars and go down to where it says My Maps. That will open this pane up right here. Then what I'm going to be doing is creating a map. Right down here it says Create Map. I'm going to click that. It's going to open up a new tab, and now I'm going to be able to create a map with different layers to kind of tell my story. So as I said, I'm making this map on the Serial podcast, which if you haven't listened to, I highly recommend it. I love it. I could also add a description here to go with my map if I wanted to. The next thing I will do then is I'm going to go ahead and name this first layer, and we're going to call this Bo Bergdahl. So now what I can do is add an actual marker to the map to show something about Bo's youth. He actually grew up in Idaho, which we can see on the map is right here. I can actually scroll in. So I'm going to do a search for his town. It's called Sun Valley, Idaho. And when I click here, it will give me an actual marker and I can add that to my map. Now from here I can also do a couple other things. I can write a little description here, or I can remove that description. The other thing I can do is add a picture. So I could do a Google search here for something in Sun Valley, Idaho, and I could find a picture and include it in my presentation. Now I'm able to add more than one picture, so if I decide I'd like to show a few pictures of this area, I can continue to add more and it'll make almost like a little slideshow. So let's add one more picture. Alright, and then I can save this. Another thing I can do now that I have created this little slideshow and I can view my pictures is I can go right over here on the left where this marker is and I can hit the paint can. I could change the color of the marker on my map to a different color. I could change the shape of the marker to a different shape. I can also look, there are many more icons available organized in these different categories. So if I found one that was somewhat appropriate for what I was trying to do, I could include that icon instead of a shape. Now perhaps I want to add another place. Bo was in infantry at Fort Benning, Georgia. So I could go find that place. I could add that to my map. Again, I could remove the description that's here and put in my own description to tell that this was his infantry. I can go ahead and add an image. And another few options that I have with some of these other icons up here, I could add a line, a driving route, a biking route, or a walking route. If I wanted to, I could make a line between these two places right here. That line, I'm able to set settings just like the other things I did. So I could say away from home, and I could write a description in there. I could put pictures if I wanted to with that line, just like you can with a location. I'm also able to use a ruler and actually measure how far this is, and if I double click here at the end so I have a stopping point, if I go in here I can actually see the number of miles away When I'm ready, I can add a new layer. I can title the layer, and then I'm able to search and add additional pins to that layer. Now, a student could add way more layers and locations than what I've done. So what I would want to do as a student then is share this with my teacher in Google Classroom. So I'm going to click this share button. I'm going to change this so that anyone at my district can view. Once I click here, I'm just going to Control-C copy that link and say done. Now I'm going to go back to my Google Classroom and I'm going to go ahead and add a link, copy, V, paste, and now that link to my map that I created is going to be in here and I'll turn it in. Once I've turned in the assignment, I'll wait for my teacher to view my map and tell me how I've done. So here we are. This is the teacher side. The teacher can go ahead and see that one student has turned this in. I'll be able to view that student and their link to their map. So here's the map. I can go ahead and click on these and see what the student has included. It looks like there's 3 photos. I can view the different photos that the student included. I can go back and then I can go to the next one. This is the fort. I will be able to see the descriptions and what the student all wrote, along with, again, the photos that the student included. So it plays almost like a presentation in a way that I can kind of navigate my way through. So then after I've viewed the student's map, I can go back here. I can give the student the grade that they earned, and then I can go ahead and return it to the student. I can also leave them a comment. Once I return the assignment, the student on their end will be able to view their score as well as see the comments that the teacher has left for them. Here are just a few other tips about Google Maps. If you're using this in the classroom, you want to show your students these 3 bars that opens up the left side pane. I can again go back to my maps and see the map that I just created. If I click this, I will be able to then open it in my maps, which opens it in its own tab, and here I'm able to edit and do whatever I'd like with that map. But if I go back to just my Google Maps and close this out, I am able to do Google Earth. One of the things that's kind of nice is I can view Earth in different ways. I could go here to Sunrise Point. I can view this in a 3D view in which I'm able to click and look all around. The ones that have the little rotating circle are the ones that are 3D. You can also view just plain still images such as this one. I hope this tutorial was helpful to show you how to use Google Maps with your students, have them create a map, and then share the link to turn it in Google Classroom.